Hello my beautiful creatives, and welcome to week 4 of Soul Book Club. If you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissie B, and I am a creativity coach. I realized that my videos have been super long, and I've decided that today I was going to try to keep it simple. I thought it would be a really fun thing to show you some of my favorite easy go-to texture kind of backgrounds. When I want to get texture on the background of my pages, I have a couple of favorite techniques that I like to use. I have an old dictionary that I tear pages out of. I think I got this for 50 cents at a used bookstore somewhere. I have a few rolls of regular masking tape, and I have a couple of decorative tapes as well. I have 2 rolls of tape from the hardware store. I always get this wrong, but I think this one is carpet tape and this one is drywall tape, and I might have that backwards. I usually get them backwards, but one is one and one's the other. So one is kind of grid-like, and I don't really care what the color is because you can change the color with paint and whatnot. And then the other one is little dots. It looks like really small punchinella is what that looks like. But these are 2 of my favorite. I love these things to have on hand. I have a couple of magazines that I'm going to tear images out. Doesn't really matter what magazines you have, but anything that you don't mind tearing pages out, that's awesome. I will have a tub of gesso. This for me is a thicker gesso than I normally use. I usually use the Liquitex, and I use that because it's very thin and runny, and I don't want thin and runny for this project. I want kind of thick. So I have a thick gesso and a plastic utility knife, or a scraper of any kind will work just fine. I have a large Yoo-hoo glue stick, although I'm not sure I'll need that, but maybe I'll need that. So I'm just gonna pick a couple of spreads. I have decided that because my videos have been going so long these weeks, I'm not sure if you like sitting through that long of a video, so I'm gonna try to make it shorter this week. And I'm going to do 2 or 3 really quick spreads. Oh, and I also have a roll of paper towels with me. Okay? And I'm gonna take 2 squares, or 2 portions of my paper towel, and I'm actually gonna just adhere that down using my glue stick. I'm gonna let it overhang on one side so I could trim it. That doesn't really matter. Just kind of mush it in. And I do want this. I didn't think I want it to go all the way across, but I do. So I'm gonna get one more square, I think. And just really make sure that this is adhered well. Now, I don't think it matters if you want smooth or bumpy. I just want mine kind of smooth because it is kind of rough textures already. And just kind of work it into that, in the spine right there. So I'm gonna get that to kind of go in there. One more square. And then I'm gonna do a little more glue stick. And then when this dries, I will trim off all of the excess paper towel that's on here. But already we've got a lot of really good texture on our background of our page. And because it's paper towel, this will soak up liquid, like watercolors, inks, really well. So I really like this background a lot. Let's add something else to it. I am going to add some masking tape. I like to keep different thicknesses of masking tape on hand because you never know when you might want something really thick, or something medium, something really thin. And I'm just gonna tear a few pieces and kind of put it down right on top, making sure to get right into the spine, like so. And remember, these are in the background, so it doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't have to look beautiful yet. This is just about getting some texture on the page. If you want more texture on the page, you can wrinkle your masking tape up before you get it all the way down. And then before I move on from this background, because I think I'm liking it, I will do some narrower pieces that also happen to be a different shade of tan. So if it should show in the foreground, I'm okay with that. And I'm just trying to create some kind of a balanced composition of some sort. I'm not putting too much thought into it. I'm just doing something that makes my eye happy. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim off this end of paper over here. So this is ready for taking any type of adhesive or any type of mediums on top of it. Watercolor, inks, acrylic, whatever your heart desires. This will be really cool. So that is one way to get really quick texture on your background. And you'll see me play on these in the coming weeks. I'll be playing on some of these backgrounds that we create. And then just to, you know, put some space between all of these pages, I'm just gonna flip to another blank spread and get started with another one. And this one, I'm going to do a combination of book pages and some of our hardware tape. So let me grab just a few pages out of this dictionary. And I like to tear all of the straight edges off. Okay, and then because I'm in the mood for it, I'm going to keep using glue stick. And I think book pages are one of my favorite things to use, but as for texture, I think this is a visual texture kind of a thing. It doesn't have any like feeling of texture. But I still like it a lot. I'm a big book reader, so I really like to have book pages and words on my spreads. You probably noticed that if you've been watching me at all. Again, I'm just putting it down in a way that makes my brain happy. And I kind of already hear myself, even myself saying, well, these aren't going to stay down terribly well. But they will, because you remember, these are only the very first layer. You can add gel medium on top, and because it's paper, it will soak up any of the mediums that you put on it on top. So I'm just gonna not be too hard on myself. Remember, your soul book is supposed to be something that is fun, not something that is a lot of pressure. If it's a lot of pressure, then you might want to think about how you're doing it. Okay, I like that. So now I'm gonna take some of this construction tape and a pair of scissors, because I don't really like tearing this. Well, I guess I could tear it. I don't, maybe, nope, maybe not. Couldn't remember if it tore or not. Now, this tape, I did not know this the first time I used this, but it has a backing on it. So I find that if I kind of fold a corner, I can get it to come off, the backing to come off. And the cool thing about the backing is that not only do you now have this cream color piece of this dotted, I don't know what it is, drywall tape, I think. You also have the back, which is a tan version of the same thing. Now, the drywall tape itself is sticky, like a sticker, but the backing is not, so you'll need to use something to adhere that down, and there's a shiny side or a not shiny side. And I'm going to just cut that a little bit, just so it kind of sticks down in there. At this point, I'm not too worried about it, it's just about getting it down. And I'd like another piece, please. I think I'll do one more. Again, I really like to work in threes. Triangles or threes, that generally makes me happy. You can do it however you like. And the hardest part about this page is just getting the sticker off the back. Got it. Put that there. Yeah. One more to get off. And I will stick that there. Now, in my opinion, this page is now ready for doing something else on top of. And because I used my glue stick in the manner that I did, that I do have a couple sticky edges showing, I'm just gonna put a piece of deli paper in between so that my pages don't stick together. And I'm gonna flip to another section of my book. Okay. Now, let's pull out our magazines. Now, what I like to do with magazines, I like to keep it very simple. And I want to do some collage, but I don't want to do collage for the sake of making a pretty collage. I want collage to be my background texture. And I'm hoping, I love this pink a lot. So I'm looking for the color, some kind of a color scheme that will work really well on this page. I like that yellow. So I'm just going to tear out some pages that have either the pink or the yellow or some variation of that. I don't really care what the pictures are as long as they've got that color. Okay, I think I lucked out on that magazine. I got plenty of papers. So what I've got are a bunch of magazine pages, just random magazine pages that either have pink on them or this bright yellow. So then I just need to decide, do I want to tear the images out or tear the color out, or do I just want to cut them out? Tear them out or cut them out? I'm going to tear them out. And I don't really care about any of the words. None of the words matter to me. So sometimes I will take my images and just tear them up, because really what I'm trying to do is create a background of the color, not necessarily the texture or the text or any of the actual images. Just go with me on this. You'll see what I'm talking about when I'm done. Let me put a garbage can nearby, so I'm gonna make a mess. Okay, that's loud, sorry about that. So I'm gonna make a pile of yellow and a pile of pink. Okay, I think my yellows are done. Now let's do my pink. Okay, let's see if I've got enough without tearing more. Because I can always add other stuff to my page. I like that that says happy. Okay, I'm gonna do the yellow or the pink first, I think, and then the yellow on top. So I'm just gonna lay everything down. Okay, I know this looks super messy, like I don't know what I'm doing, but trust me, some of this is just plain. Figure out what goes where. Okay. So I'm just gonna put glue stick on my page and I'm gonna start adhering images down. Okay, now I'm going to start with my yellow. This should go right here. And I'm just kind of using the straight sides. That's kind of telling me where it wants to go, if that makes sense. So visually this will give you a lot of texture as well. There's not a lot of feeling texture to this one either, but there's a lot of visual texture. So if you start layering acrylic or ink or sprays on top of this, then really easily it looks like it becomes kind of magical all of a sudden. Kind of glad I kept some of my pink aside because then I can actually layer these on top of each other. So do you understand what I was saying? Is I'm actually painting with the actual color itself and not necessarily the images. So it's a different kind of collage. And actually, before I discovered this little technique that I made up, I actually made this up because I was bored in front of the television and I have a lot of magazines, and I kept saying, you know, I shouldn't have this many magazines. I should start getting rid of some of them. So I tried to sit there with magazines that were actually going to the recycler saying, okay, you have to get rid of these, but if you didn't have to get rid of them, how would you use them? What would you do with them? Let's see if I can cover up some of those words there. Let's see, what else can I do? I don't necessarily want piece of paper that's a new candy, but I do like the color of it. Okay, that's cool. That makes me happy. This is a different shade of color. I'm going to cover this lady a little. I really enjoy this exercise when I am standing at a white canvas or I'm standing at my soul book and I'm stuck, like I don't know what to do next. This is kind of just a way to get your creativity muscles warmed up and moving. Am I done? Am I close? I'm not usually a more is more girl, but right now I think I'm going through a more is more phase. Love it. Let's put some of this lady. Do I want her? See, she's very, I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to tear her just a little bit so you can't tell she's necessarily a woman. There we go. We'll even put her upside down. It's really just the color I want and not necessarily imagery. And I think that maybe done. And I said that, but I knew it was wrong when I said it out loud because this space up here is bothering me that it's so white. I don't know who W is, but I'm going to say W said, if you look on this piece of paper, that's what this says. Yeah. So, I'm going to toss all the rest of my scraps because that is my page. That's the start of my page anyways. The only other thing I would do to this is where my gesso comes into play. I like to take a palette knife into some thick gesso. It's kind of like peanut butter, this gesso. And I don't want too much, but I want just a little bit that I can kind of scrape it down. Whoops. If you lift any pieces, that's fine. Your gesso will actually adhere it down. And I want to just kind of push everything back a little bit using the gesso. So you can pick and choose what you want to peek through, what you don't want to peek through by scraping a little bit more in that area. But now all of the background colors look just like that. They're just colors. You'll see some text popping through, which is fine. And I did not cover my little couple right here because I really like them, but I think I need a little more on this page. You just kind of add or remove as much as you want until you're happy with it. So this is definitely what I mean when I say that your soul book is just for playing. It's just for coming in and experimenting and figuring out whatever you want. Whether that's questions you have for yourself, or maybe an art technique you want to try, or maybe it's like this where you're just getting messy. I'm gonna cover that a little bit. I did cover my happy a little more than I wanted to, but that's okay. I can always come back and put it in later. Okay, there we go. So those are my 3 background spreads. I hope that you enjoyed those. There will be more to come on those, I know, because I will be the one playing in it in the future. And yeah, I hope that you are enjoying Soul Book Club. I hope that you are playing in your own soul book, or at least trying out some of the techniques that I've got going here. As usual, I will have 10 new journaling prompts for you over on beautifulcreatives.com, so please feel free to go over there. You can copy those journaling prompts, put them to Word or Pages, and do whatever you want with them. Change the font, change the size, change the color, cut them up, put them into your soul book, answer some of these questions, make up questions of your own. That's totally fine. But if you have any questions, as always, please let me know down in the comment section down below. I would be very happy to help you. Thanks so much. Until next week. Bye for now.